Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I have an order for an arrangement in one of our customers' containers. She needed an arrangement to go into a room that kind of matched this color scheme. So her colors are beige and white with some black accents. So what we're going to do is we're going to make an arrangement in more of, it's just going to be shades of ivory, a little bit of beige with some pretty greenery. So I'm going to get started with this container. I don't want to glue into this container because I want to make sure that she's able to pull this out if she decides she doesn't want to use it anymore or use the arrangement anymore. And so what I've done is I've just taken a piece of styrofoam and tucked it right down into this container. I'm going to use a little bit of Spanish moss, and I'm going to cover up my mechanics. I just don't want that green styrofoam to show, so I just use a little bit of moss to cover it up, and I'm just going to kind of take that moss and just tuck it right into that vase. I'm going to start out with some pretty foliage. And Spanish moss makes such a mess. Okay, I'm going to use some pretty foliage. So I've got several different types. I don't even know what this is, but it's pretty, whatever it is. So I've got this light green. Now it comes on what we would call a bush, or it's just lots of little stems on one large stem. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to take my wire snips, and I am just going to cut it apart. This way I'm able to place this foliage throughout this arrangement. So I'm just taking my snips and I'm cutting all of the stems right off that one large stem. I'm going to set this one back here. I'm not sure that I'm going to need it. I've got another bush, and this bush here had 2, 4, 6, it had 9 stems of greenery on it, so that's a really good amount. This one has 8 stems. And then this is a type of grass. I think it's pretty. I like this lime green color. This one also has 9 stems. Okay, and then this is a type of eucalyptus, kind of a pretty green colored eucalyptus. Not quite as gray-green as eucalyptus can be, but it's pretty. And this one has 8 stems. Okay, so I have all my greenery cut off. I've got some extra pieces here for just in case. I'm going to start out by I'm just going around in this container, and I am placing this foliage all the way around in this container. Now, the reason I'm not going to glue all of this in is because she really, at this point, just needs something for this room. She has company coming. And so I didn't want to secure it with glue because just in case she might not love this arrangement, okay? So what I was going to do is just put the arrangement together, and when she says, yes, it's wonderful, we'll come back and we'll glue all the pieces in. But we are making it to make it work for this weekend. And then if she loves it, we'll put it completely together where we glue everything in. And if she doesn't love it, it's very easy to take apart and to make it work, okay? So I'm just taking these grasses, and I'm going to make this kind of an all the way around arrangement. I'm just sticking these stems right there, right down into this bone, okay? Really, I think this would be pretty with just these pretty greens. They're just kind of bright and give it a little bit of life to this room. These little berries are pretty. This it's almost like a seeded eucalyptus, but it doesn't have the eucalyptus part on this stem. The greenery or the foliage on the stem. So you see how easy this is done. All I'm doing is I am just putting this greenery all the way around in this container. And what I'm doing is I'm just making sure there's a little bit of all the different varieties all throughout the arrangement. I love this. I'm not sure what it is, but it really is pretty. Okay, so this is 4 bushes of greenery. I really like how it livens up this container. It just kind of makes it fresh, just a pretty fresh greenery. All right, so we've got our greenery in place. So next I'm going to come in with some cream colored hydrangeas. So this is just, it's also a bush. And it has, I believe there's 7 stems, 4, 5, 6, 7 stems of hydrangeas. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking that foliage on that stem and I've just pushed it up. I'm just going to cut that stem. So you can see how the foliage is all down. I'm just taking that foliage, whoop, pop myself in the face, and I'm just pushing it up to that flower. I don't think I'm going to need all 7 stems of these flowers, so I'm going to cut off 3 and see how that works. And if I need more, I can use more. And so I've just left my stems long, and I am just going to press those right into that foam. Always be sure that you pull the tags off your flowers, okay? So I just stuck that right into that container. I do think I'm going to need more, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple more stems off. So there are our hydrangeas. The wonderful thing about artificial stems, they've got that wire, and so you can kind of manipulate them and make them do what you need them to. Turn it around and look at it real quick. Okay. All right, so there we go. That's the front. I've got these really pretty tulips. They look so nice. And I like that they're kind of an ivory color, kind of a creamy color. They match that container really pretty good. The nice part about these is they're kind of real to the touch is the brand. And so, I mean, they're just pretty little tulips. So the thing is that this stem is not as sturdy as the stem I just used. So I am going to I'm going to use a few wood picks. Hey Owen, can you run in there and grab me a handful of wood picks, please, sir? So I'm going to take, let's see, slide my arrangement over so you can see my face. I'm going to take this wood pick and I am just going to lay it right there on that stem, and I am just going to wrap that stem with that little wire, okay? And I'm just going around and around and around. And so what that does is it gives, thank you, Owen, it's giving my base stability, okay? I'm going to just tuck that guy right down into it. Now you can see it has some wire, so I'm going to be able to manipulate it and kind of tell it what to do, which is always fun because you can kind of, unlike fresh flowers, silk flowers you can manipulate. Fresh flowers, they will break, and so you always have to be pretty careful with fresh flowers when kind of bending and moving and manipulating fresh flowers. The wonderful part about artificial flowers is you're not going to hurt them. You're not going to hurt them at all when you bend them. Take another piece of wire. I'm afraid I'm going to lose that stem. So I just took one more piece of wire just so it would stay in place. Kind of bend it. How you can kind of just tell them what to do. So with this arrangement, we really wanted a touch of flowers. We really wanted our greenery to be our main focus. And so it's not going to get lots and lots of flowers, just some. And I'm just repeating the same step. I'm just adding wood picks to the tulips. I'm going to turn it around and look at it real quick. Okay, so I like my tulips, I'm pleased. Okay, next I'm going to come in with a few of these roses. Now I like this rose, and the reason I really like this rose is it has a touch of a peach color. It gives us just a hint of color, which is nice. So I'm just going to take a few stems. I don't need many. I'm also going to add the wood picks to the bottom because they're short. They're short little stems. You can see it's not very long. I'm afraid if I stick them over in there, they're just going to get lost. They're just too short to tuck in. So I'm just taking a wire pick, just like I did for my tulips. And I am just attaching this flower right to that little pick. That's going to lengthen that stem. I'm going to be able to tuck those right down into this arrangement. I don't know if you heard those little feet. Todd's walking around in here, checking everything out, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Todd is the flower shop chihuahua, and he's the boss, or he thinks he is anyway. All right. I think we need one more stem here. We have an empty spot here. So I always like to turn it around and look at it. I think I need a tulip up here. But always kind of turn it around. If you need to, step back from the arrangement so you can see exactly what needs to be where. So I'm going to add another rose, and I see maybe 2 more tulips. Actually, this one goes down here, so I didn't need to extend that stem. So see how that kind of fills in that empty space? I'm going to tuck a couple of more tulips, and I think we're going to call this arrangement pretty. So when making an artificial arrangement for a room, the wonderful part about this is because this is more of a custom piece. She brought me a pillow and she brought me this container so that I kind of had an idea of what the room looks like, because it's so hard when you're making custom work for people, especially when they want to match their room. So it was really, really nice that she sent me these containers and the pillow to kind of make it so that we could figure it out. All right, I'm going to add one more, and I think we're going to call it pretty. When making silk flowers though, I usually tell the customer, go to the craft store and pick out the flowers you like, bring them to me, and I am happy to arrange them for you. I've always found it so much easier for them to pick out exactly what they like. With this, that's pretty easy. Ivory's easy. I can't mess up a color when it comes to whites and ivories. You can't mess that up. But for us in this shop, we don't carry a whole lot of fancy flowers, and so we usually ask our customer to pick those flowers up for us, bring us in a container, and we will just charge you a fee for putting together your arrangement. And I find for me that's the easiest, because inevitably I'm going to mess up a color. Color's hard in artificial flowers. Guys, thank you so much for being here with me this afternoon and for watching as I put together this pretty arrangement. If you have any questions, please comment those down below. We'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. And if you would, give us a follow. We'd love for you to follow our page and to share it with your friends. Guys, y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you real soon.